Well, hello YouTubers. Today is July the 17th and started July the 16th yesterday. I started building 55-gallon drums for drinking water. Basically, these drums have sand inside the drums along with various size pebbles, rocks, gravel. I don't want to use the word gravel because I use basically pea pebbles, pond pebbles. I'll show you exactly what I used and go through a little bit about what I did here. And if you notice the top, you see 5-gallon Home Depot buckets. I suppose it doesn't matter what bucket you use, but the bottom of it, I have the lid there, but on the bottom there I put the attachment. As you can see, the attachment there, and have a little bit of water in there. And I have right now a small aluminum sheet, because I had to if you notice, I had to cut a hole on top of the 55-gallon drum. I wasn't lucky enough to find one with a screw top to save me a lot of trouble. Now, in order to make this filter, what you need to do is you need to make something so when the water goes in on the top, I have a screen here, and I made this out of PVC pipe, 1 inch, and I had these clips that I have right here. These clips I had that I bought from a mega store, greenhouse mega store. I ordered them because I built a greenhouse a few years ago, but I decided to use these clips so I could put the screen here, and I clip it in place. The reason you want this inside in your barrel on the very top is so when the water falls out of this 5-gallon bucket, it hits the screen, and when it hits the screen, what happens is it slows down the water process. You don't want a whole bunch of water hitting your sand inside your bucket, because it would disturb the bacteria. Eventually the good bacteria will build up, and it will fight the bad bacteria. Now, I watched a lady give a demonstration on how to make it so you can make a sand filter out of a 55-gallon drum, and she didn't use necessarily a 55-gallon drum, but I do. Some people do. Some people make it out of 5-gallon buckets, but I recommend, if you're going to do it right, do something like a 55-gallon drum. You have a lot more sand in there, and you'll have a better chance of killing the bacteria. Supposedly this has been very successful, but you have to be patient. Today's the second day, and I actually got the sand in there running. The sand inside the bucket, so it's doing the filtering. And I got the spigot here. I got this part that goes inside the barrel, which is why I had to cut the hole. Now, some people put the spigot way up top, like halfway, or 10 inches or more, but I couldn't see how that would work. One guy did try to do that, and it turned out, he said he had the sand in there, but it didn't work for him. He had to basically scratch the project and rebuild it and lower it. I decided to keep it low, and I put gravel and rocks all up to close, just underneath that first line. So if you were thinking of the buckets in thirds, I got almost about a a third with rocks and pebbles. And the reason I did that, the rocks and pebbles above the spigot, is because I wanted that water to build up. I want the water all the way to the bottom to build up, and I wanted something to be there, because then you got sand from here all the way up to the, you know, close to the top. And so since you're doing that, you're not going to have the amount of water here. It's going to be water. It's going to be filtering through the sand quite slowly. But it actually happens not too slow. It's pretty good. It flows pretty good. But I wanted to show you my project. I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. And this is my effort. And like I say, I have the screen, the top, because I have a hole on top of my barrel. I have this small sheet of aluminum, not very thick, and bought that at Home Depot. And I bought this I forget what you call it, little spigot that goes through the barrel. Got that at Amazon. The rest of the stuff you're able to get, like this right here, the on and off a valve, you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. And I got this fitting right here off of Amazon. And I made 2 of them. So water just flows into the bucket. I'll put the water in there, but I'll show you inside the bucket. Inside the bucket, it's up a little bit, so I might have a 1.5 inches of water in there before it would start flowing in there. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to put some filter material in here as a pre-filter. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But I'm going to show you, walk over here. The sand that I use, I got this at Home Depot. The sand that I recommend is a white sand. It's a high desert clay sand I got from Home Depot. And you can clean this stuff out, the sand. I don't really recommend it. It's too time consuming, but you know, the sand is not something you really have to clean out. You can run the barrel, run a couple loads of water in there and you'll be fine. And also at Home Depot, I used river pebbles, a decorative stone, and then I got a decorative stone pond pebbles. The only difference is the river pebbles and the pond pebbles. I believe the pond was bigger rocks. So you want bigger rocks on the very bottom. So the layer right here, I might have up here, I might just have you know, a couple inches, 2 or 3 inches of bigger rocks. And then I'll have the medium-sized rocks. And then I'm going to tell you something that I hadn't told you yet. But right after I put the big rocks and the medium-sized rocks, I cut out a screen. It's a mess back here where I work until I get a chance to clean up. But I use this window screen. And you cut it out and make it round. You make it round, find out the diameter of here, which I think was, if I remember right, about 21, 22 inches I cut it at. And then I just put it on the, down on the bottom here. Like I said, I had the big rocks, the medium-sized rocks, then I put the screen in there. And when I put the medium-sized rocks, it's already was covering above the spigot. And the spigot from the bottom up to here, I put it about 8 inches. And then I put the smaller rocks all the way up about 1.5 inches or inch or so below this line. So there's plenty of room for the water to be stored. So there's always going to be plenty drinking water. And the rest of it, from there all the way to the top is desert sand, play sand from Home Depot. And that's about it. So I hope that you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If you wonder where I got some of the parts, if you want the actual part number or something like that, let me know. Especially with the Amazon, especially the fittings that go through the barrel, the spigot and so forth. They're hard to find. I couldn't find them at Lowe's or Home Depot, but I found them on Amazon. The rest of the stuff I was able to get at Home Depot or Lowe's. So that's it. It's a rain barrel, and like I said, it took me 2 days to get this far, and I was working pretty hard, and I went ahead and made 2 of them. And my recommendations now, I should wait about 60 days, 90 days, and I'll just keep feeding water through it until it's totally clear, until the bacteria on the top builds up, because the bacteria on the top 2 inches will build up. The good bacteria will fight the bad bacteria. And from what I understand, as the viruses and contaminants go through the sand, most of it will just die out. But I will continue in 90 days and give me a water test, and I'll test out this water before I start drinking it. But I believe that things will work out okay, and this is going to be used mainly for rainwater that I collect and turn it into drinking water. So this is my experiment, and like I said, the buckets up there, I will put filters and some sort of pond filter to pre-treat the water, so the water goes through the filter so I don't get any grass or anything like that in there. But that's it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Please subscribe. And this is my attempt to do what I can to be prepared, for we are living in the last days, the last few years before Christ comes. So God bless you, and I wish you the best, and take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.